And we're live.
Hey, I have a topic. So do you guys remember that teenage girl who encouraged her boyfriend to kill himself and he did?
Yeah, she's in trouble.
That's what's ended up panning out with that?
They're going to kill her.
Oh, they hired someone to bully her.
They cut her wrist.
She's in trial right now. It's not over. This story is from like 2 days ago, so unless it ended very recently. I have like 5 things to know. He died of carbon monoxide poisoning in his truck, so that's how he killed himself.
Good way to go.
At one point, he got out of his truck and like texted her, and she was like, go back, finish the job. She said, "You always say you're going to do it, but you never do. I just want to make sure tonight is the real thing. You just have to do it. It's painless and it's quick." This is what she told him. Get back in.
Bitch is in trouble now.
That is think of the kind of, at the very least, she's a sociopath who has no understanding of, I don't know, because is she even a sociopath or is she just evil? Because she's playing it for, well, no, I guess she could be a sociopath playing it for emotional points because she knows she was the one who, after this happened, was like playing it up like, oh, I'm so distraught. My life's over. My boy, he's gone. Like, or my boyfriend, whatever. Like, and that level of callousness and shittiness
like that
at that age just show like that should just be like an end of do not pass go, do not collect $200, do not go to college, do not dupe somebody into marrying you.
Can I play the devil's advocate?
I'm excited to see where you go.
Yeah. So first of all, just looking at this on the face of what we're all hearing here, she sounds like a terrible person. I agree. But what we don't have any facts or any details about, or at least I don't, is like, what was the nature of their relationship? Was this a boyfriend and girlfriend, or was, like, here's the scenario in which I would think that this was fine, right? If this guy was annoying this girl who wanted nothing to do with him for a long period of time and, like, doing that thing, like maybe you've seen on Reddit where, like, you'll have this one-sided conversation where the guy's like, "What's wrong? Why won't you talk to me?" And it like devolves on, when this one-sided conversation devolves into him being like, "Well, fuck you fucking whore. I don't want you anyway, you nasty whore." Like, if that's the kind of treatment that this girl was getting from that guy, if he was this guy that she wasn't interested in, but was always coming after, and he's always saying like, "I love you so much, I'll kill myself if I don't have you. I'd kill myself." And she's just like, "Bro, fucking do it. I don't know you."
That's not what it is.
I love it because it matters.
So apparently this guy had suicidal tendencies before they started dating. They were real boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, that much isn't in question. And,
Story over.
So, no.
I mean,
keep going. We'll
that's
lay
all
out
it takes
some
for
more.
me to be like, all right, well, she's a bitch then.
So he had suicidal tendencies. They were a real couple. They, whatever, they were dating. There were times when he suggested that they kill themselves as a pair, which she wasn't really into, but he was like, "Yeah, we should die together," etc. This sort of Romeo Juliet thing. And, but then, he sort of excluded her from his plans of killing himself and just went solo. He would repeatedly sort of do these, like, cries for attention, I guess, although he went through with it, so he was the real deal. But, he would repeatedly, like, "Tonight's the night, I'm going to kill myself," whatever, and then not finish it. And then she eventually was like, "Do it, just do it. It's painless, it's quick, it's what have you." And the article ends like this. It's not very long. I'll read it. On Monday, Carter waived her right to a jury trial and placed her fate in the hands of a judge. Prosecutors will have to prove that Carter caused Roy to kill himself, essentially caused his death.
I hope she's innocent.
There's a little more. Defense lawyers are going to argue that he had suicide tendencies predating their relationship. They're going to emphasize that he was alone in his car, and ultimately it was his decision. There may be an issue to the extent to which she was aware of the risk. She knew he was suicidal, but did she know that he was going to go through with it? So I feel like that presents both sides of the argument pretty well.
I'm on her side.
Really?
And legally, I'm on her side. No punishment. 0, 0, nothing. She hasn't broken a law. She's done something terribly morally wrong in the nature of cheating on your wife with her sister. But we don't lock people up for that. We just don't.
The guy was carbon monoxide poisoning himself. He didn't want to go. He decided not to go through with it. He got out. She texted him, said, "You never go through with it. Just do it. It's painless and quick." He follows her instructions. He just does it.
Taylor, go kill yourself.
Nah.
Shit.
Well, like, send me like mean texts about it.
But when you get a guy with a gun to his temple and you say pull it, or a guy standing on a ledge and you say jump, Are you at all?
Imagine if
don't
I
know.
actually did it right there, Kyle. That clip, if I just pulled a gun out, blew my head off, like
So many
that,
views.
this clip would go. It would be more viral than anything. Big-headed, because I have a giant head too, so there'd be more gore than anyone before. And so it would like large-headed man blows head off.
Or I'll tell you to kill yourself.
Or I'll use my powers even more. You know, yeah.
Yeah, see, this
she's a
shit-
piece of shit.
She had no powers. She is not culpable. If she had powers, if she was like, there's an X-Files episode called The Pusher or Pusher, and that's what he did. He had this incredible power of suggestion. He'd be like, he'd be like, set yourself on fire, and you'd be like, nah, like, no, really though, want to do this, and they couldn't resist this guy. He had this power over them, the supernatural thing. That ain't what we're talking about though, and. Look, I can tell you to do whatever I want. I can tell you to go to hell, tell you to fuck yourself, tell you to kill yourself. If you fuck yourself, I didn't rape you. If you kill yourself, I didn't kill you. I'm not involved with either act. I can say what I want. I hate it when, like, even people we hate, this morally piece of shit, bankrupt cunt, she shouldn't be punished any more than that racist old white cuck of a fucker that said that racist shit that owned that basketball team should have lost his basketball team. You should be able to say some racist, awful, low-grade, dirty shit if you want to. We can look down on it. We can see it as morally reprehensible. We can see it as wrong, bad, dishonest, something we don't like. We can make efforts to not include those people in our own personal lives. We can not do business with them. But what we can't do is find them guilty of some made-up crime and suddenly start saying, if you suggested he killed himself, and he did it, so you're 100% culpable. No, you're not. You're a cunt.
I agree with you that you're right. And that this is one of those things where like I hear what you're saying, and I think you're right. You're correct in what you're saying. But emotionally, when you first see it, you want her to be punished, obviously. But like it would set a dangerous precedent. Do you have a duty to now prevent people from killing themselves, and you're culpable for that? If someone says I'm going to kill myself and you don't go to the correct extent to prevent it, like who knows where that would lead? But like at the end of the day, yeah, she didn't actually do anything to kill him. He killed himself. He did it all. But she was just a horrible cunt who shouldn't be around, like who shouldn't exist. Just an evil, like how just fucking evil, just an evil person. And yeah. But you can't be punishing someone saying
to me. I see all the issues that you guys see, right?
Yeah.
She had a lot of influence on this guy, right? You know, here he is. He's fragile. This is his girlfriend. She's in a tremendous position of influence based on who she is to him. I've been a fragile guy before. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, but I can imagine if I had one that was pushing me that way, maybe I'd have acted like him. And she was the difference between him living and dying, right? He was walking out of the truck, not killing himself, and she said, "Get back in. You're all talk." So he got back in and died. But I don't know what the punishment should be for that. I feel like there should be some.
Yeah, I feel like there should be, but it's like, what can they really do? You told someone to kill themselves, and so now you're culpable in their death. It's like you can't really do that, like because they did kill themselves.
And when you start qualifying it, and you can't qualify it either. You can't be like, I mean, we can. It's important to like know these facts, but you can't qualify it with, well, he was in a sensitive position and this was his girlfriend. It's like, well, then again, where do we draw the line with like what does our relationship have to be? How fickle must our relationship between one another be before I can tell you to go kill yourself? You know what I mean? Like, where do we draw that line? You can't. So
the charge is involuntary manslaughter.
I think it's.
So manslaughter, I think, is when you kill someone, but it wasn't planned out. Like maybe you got into a fight and all you meant to do was hit him, but you actually killed him. I think that's what manslaughter is.
Yeah.
Involuntary manslaughter, I guess, is. How is that different than manslaughter? I'm not.
That'd be like you run a kid over, right?
Manslaughter it includes like recklessness, I believe. So if you were driving like 20 miles over the speed limit and you ran a red light and you ran into a car and you killed someone, that would be manslaughter. But if it's what'd you say? Unintentional manslaughter?
Involuntary.
Involuntary manslaughter. I don't know. I don't even, because this isn't manslaughter. Like she didn't kill him. Like she
didn't
did
enact
not kill
anything
him
on this guy. No, you can't kill somebody
Here I have
without.
Involuntary manslaughter occurs when the agent has no intentions of committing murder, but caused the death of another through recklessness or criminal negligence. The crime of involuntary manslaughter can be subdivided into main categories: constructive and gross negligence manslaughter.
See, that seems risky if you extend and say, oh, that recklessness now includes text messages. It's not recklessness of I'm driving my motorcycle too fast, not recklessness of I didn't check before I went to the shooting range and shot someone next to me or something. Like, it's reckless as in, oh, you recklessly sent that text message. Like, as much as we hate this horrible bitch, like, this is,
criminal recklessness, I guess, implies a pretty extreme level of recklessness.
Sounds fun, doesn't it? I'm criminally reckless. Like you got to be doing.
That's how I fly my paramotor.
And it's if anything, it wasn't manslaughter because she wanted him to die. It was no accident. This was a talked about thing. It wasn't involuntary.
That'd be a funny defense if her defense attorney was like, Your Honor, she wanted him to kill herself. There was nothing unintentional. Kill himself. There was nothing unintentional about this. It's clearly not unintentional manslaughter. Yeah, I hope she doesn't get punished because of the precedent it would set. What if you're an influencer or whatever the fuck, some guy with 8 million people on Twitter or something, and you tell a fan to go kill himself, and he kills himself. Now you're in trouble.
Just
like,
shorten it.
Well,
to
he had, yeah, right. Like Mr. Gamertag had quite the sway on Bobby. He'd been watching Mr. Gamertag for years. Bobby was just a fan, and when Mr. Gamertag told him to go fuck himself, well, he took it to heart, and he fucked himself to death.
I hear you.
You're up for rape.
That's a pretty.
Yeah.
I mean,
again.
On one hand, that's the slippery slope, and you shouldn't pay too much attention to that. On the other hand, slippery slope matters. There is a precedent here. It's not a crazy thought process. I just feel like she should get something. I really think that
I feel like she's terrible.
Responsibility on his death.
Yeah, I think that she is in some way probably responsible for his death. I can't say beyond the shadow of a doubt, though, because this is a suicidal guy who was getting in and out of smoke-filled cars, so chances are he was eventually going to do it. And he may have done it that night. Can't say 100% sure without a shadow of a doubt that he wouldn't have done it without her input. It just seems that that's the case. I hate this person, and initially I had the same reaction as I did with flag burning when that came up a while back. I was like, yeah, it should be against the law. And then I started thinking more and more, and I was like, no, it can't be, can it? It really can't be. And in the same right, I think you should be able to tell people to kill themselves. And if you want to, you tell them how to fucking do it. I guess, you tell them to do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. I like that. I like being able to say whatever you want, no matter how awful it is, or if no one but you thinks the thing that you think, because so often that's an important quality to have. There's a lot of groupthink mentality in society, and it's important that people are able to step outside of that and say what they want.
Yeah, I just think extending that there needs to be limits on say what you want. The classic
limits on free speech.
Fire on a crowded theater, that's not free speech when you shout fire in a crowded theater. I don't think free speech is when you tell a suicidal man who's in a smoke-filled truck to get back in, and finish it.
I do not draw that parallel. I don't like either thing. The fire thing, you're creating this danger. You're creating a dangerous situation, right? You're sending a group into a panic in which people get trampled and injured and stuff. It's a real public safety hazard. And it's not that you had sway over these people. You're not like their leader and you're like, fire, and that's why they believe you. It's just that, like, human beings, when you hear fire screamed, like, we react. Whereas these people knew each other, and she's like, fucking kill yourself, bro. You always say you're going to kill yourself. You're annoying me constantly with your suicide talk. I'm not going to kill myself, but if that's your thing, then fucking do it. It's not going to hurt. And look, suicide's not the worst thing. I mean, I go back to that. Like, it seems like it was not
as bad as homicide, but it's pretty bad.
No. Look,
on a moral, I think we're all talking the same thing.
Morally, not everybody is going to enjoy this existence in this life, and for some people, it's going to be your way out. I don't recommend.
I have a new topic.
I think you should persevere. I want to talk more about suicide. I think you should always persevere and try to make the world you live in one that you'll be happy to live in. For some people, that's not going to happen. I don't advocate suicide, but I do understand it. And I don't blame this lady for that guy's suicide, at least not on a legal level.